வணக்கம். இன்று கோவை மாநகரமா வந்ததில் மகிழ்ச்சி. गवर्नर डॉक्टर के रोसैया जी, मंत्रिपरिषद के मेरे साथी श्रीमान बी दत्तात्रेय, श्रीमान पोन राधाकृष्णन जी, श्रीमान पी मोहन जी, श्री एस पी वेलुमणि जी, डॉक्टर सी विजय भास्कर, श्रीमान पी नागराजन, श्री शंकर अग्रवाल जी, ESIC डायरेक्टर श्रीमान दीपक कुमार और विशाल संख्या में पधारे हुए सभी महानुभाव, I have a great pleasure to be with all of you at Coimbatore, the textile capital of South India and the commercial hub of Tamil Nadu, to inaugurate the newly constructed building for the medical college and the hospital. On this occasion, the central government has also handed over the existing hospital, the medical college, and related buildings to the government of Tamil Nadu. It reinforces my government's commitment to cooperative federalism. I hope that the government of Tamil Nadu will act quickly to start the college. This project, worth 580 crore rupees, will be a boon to ESIC beneficiaries and their family members in and around Coimbatore. Of the 100 MBBS seats proposed here, 20 seats will be reserved for the children of persons insured under the ESI schemes. We should strive to make this medical college and hospital a model for high-quality medical education and treatment to workers of the Tamil Nadu state. My government is committed to the development of a generous and comprehensive social safety net for all the workers. For the over 45 crores unorganized sector workers, in addition to the RSBY health insurance program, we have started the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Atal Pension Yojana to provide life and accident insurance. This commitment to the builders of modern India comes from the firm belief that a swastha and Samruddha Samik will make a Samruddha Rashtra. We have initiated major reforms of the EPFO and ESIC for the benefit of organized sector employees. A universal account number has so far been allotted to over 6 crore sector workers, enabling portability of their EPF accounts. Further, we propose to expand coverage and offer additional facilities and services through the ESIC. The ESI scheme is based on the Gandhian principle of contribution as per the ability and benefits as per the requirement. This principle entitles an insured person or their family members to uniform benefits, though only paying a contribution proportionate to his or her wage. Apart from medical benefit, ESIC also provides sickness, disablement, dependence, maternity, and unemployment allowance benefit to the insured persons. Its unique character, with no restriction on the expenditure and instances where more than 30 to 40 lakh rupees have been spent on treatments. It means that ESIC health scheme has been a boon to millions of workers. Friends, from its modest beginning in 1952, with just 2 centers in Kanpur and Delhi, the ESI scheme today is implemented in 830 centers in 34 states and union territories. It covers over 7 lakh factories and establishments across the country and benefits to 2 crore workers and about 8 crore beneficiaries. In Tamil Nadu, the scheme has over 85,000 participating employers and over 28 lakh insured persons. Coimbatore itself having nearly 27,000 employers. It is available in 31 districts of Tamil Nadu. There are 10 ESI hospitals in Tamil Nadu. After handing over this hospital, there will be 8 ESI hospitals in the state run by the state government. The ESIC hospital, Tirunelveli, is proposed for upgradation from 50 to 100 beds. There is a large network of 201 ESI dispensaries in the state for outpatient treatment for the insured persons and their family members. Coimbatore itself has 50 dispensaries. My government is dedicated to the welfare of our brothers and sisters who are our Rashtra Nirmatas. Sensing the need for expansion of ESIC, I have launched a second generation reform agenda named ESIC 2.0. In July last year, during the Indian Labour Conference held in New Delhi, the coverage of ESI scheme has been extended to the remaining northeast states, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Manipur, and Nicobar Island. It is proposed to expand the coverage from only the industrial and commercial clusters within a district to the entire district by 31st March 2016 this year. Since 1st August last year, the scheme has been extended to construction workers. I strongly believe in the improvement of public service delivery standards. In keeping with this, several initiatives have been started to improve the quality of service delivery in ASI hospitals. They include online availability of the electronic health record of ESI beneficiaries, establishment of an emergency medical helpline, and creation of special outpatient services for senior citizens and differently able persons in SIC hospitals. To improve cleanliness Abhiyan, the Abhiyan Indradhanush changes bed sheets according to the rainbow pattern each day of the week. Cleanliness is an important aspect of preventive health care. Studies show that it can lead to saving of almost 7,000 rupees per year for per poor family. Among other initiatives, the ESIC has resolved to adopt 2 model hospitals in each state apart from a mother and child care hospital. I am happy that ESIC proposes to expand coverage by complementing its own services with public-private partnership. Apart from cancer detection, cardiology treatment, and dialysis, the corporation also proposes to offer in a phased manner pathological and X-ray facilities in all its dispensaries through PPPS. Besides allopathic treatment, ESIC hospitals will also provide Ayush treatment in a phased manner. Friends, my government has taken a number of path-breaking steps for the welfare of workforce of our country. From September 2014, we have revised the Employee Provident Fund Organization, EPFO, pension to minimum of 1,000 rupees per month. The wage ceiling for EPF benefits has been raised from 6,500 to 15,000 rupees since 1st September 2014. An EPFO mobile app has been launched for easier access to its services for both workers and employers. The Bonus Act has been amended to increase the ceiling for eligibility and bonus payable to 21,000 and 7,000 rupees per month respectively. Keeping in mind our commitment to minimum government, maximum governance, the ministry is simplifying central labor laws by consolidating the existing 44 laws into 4 labor codes, namely on wages, industrial relations, safety and security, and health. This would considerably increase the ease of doing business and facilitate job creation without compromising on the genuine protection and rights available for our workers. We are progressing on the reform path by building consensus on these reforms through extensive stakeholders consultation with employers, workers' representatives, and state governments. Ashram Suvidha portal has been created for online services related to 16 labor laws, including a process of transparent and random inspection of businesses. A lean number has been issued to nearly 1 million employers, enabling them to process single online filing on 8 labor laws. The services offered by ESIC and EPFO have been integrated with the e-business portal of the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion to promote ease of business and limit transaction costs. Further, it is proposed to promulgate new EPFO and ESIC Acts, providing more choice, increased coverage among workers and employers, and better and expanded range of services for organized sector workers. Our plans to expand ESIC facilities, indeed the establishment of this medical college itself, is a part of a larger plan to upgrade the facilities for medical education and specialized care. We have also approved a scheme for upgradation of existing state and central government medical colleges to increase MBBS seats. Through this, we hope to increase 10,000 MBBS seats and support the college with funds for equipment and infrastructure. So far, 23 medical colleges have been approved to increase over 1,700 MBBS seats. I'm happy to inform that 4 state government medical colleges in Tamil Nadu, at Coimbatore, Kanyakumari, Tirunelveli, and Madurai have been approved for upgradation by adding 345 more MBBS seats. With similar objective, we are also promoting the establishment of AIIMS-like institutions across the country. One such institution has also been approved for Tamil Nadu, and with the active support of the state government, I hope this institution will start admissions quickly. Friends, we all know that the father of the Constitution is Bharat Ratna Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. But not many of us are aware of the immense contribution made by Babasaheb to the formulation of our labor laws. I am therefore happy to inform that Ministry of Labor and Empowerment organized a conference in Delhi last month to commemorate the 125th birth anniversary year of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. I urge each one of you to read the booklet Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Labor Welfare and Empowerment, initiative to make his vision a reality, which was released on that occasion. We are committed to resolve to work collectively and collaboratively to realize the vision of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar for labor welfare. Friends, industrial peace and harmony can be achieved only when the goals of employment and employability are in tune with the goals of industrial development and growth. It is our shared vision to have an environment which is conducive for inclusive growth and development of the country. I assure the state government all the cooperation from the central government in all its efforts in this direction. I am encouraged to work more for the welfare of the workforce of India and strive towards making India a better workplace for all. Let us all come together in making our country the best place to work and live in. Jai Hind. Thank you very much.